What is up, everybody? Wanted to go over Bitcoin here on the daily since some crucial things have changed since yesterday. You can watch my previous video that I just put out if you want to see what I'm really looking for overall. This is going to be more go into detail why I think this multi 1-2 series is developing on Bitcoin. So if we just zoom out, we're going to disregard all this price action here for now. If you really want to know, I have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4 here. But for the sake of this video, we're going to talk about local price action, as that is going to determine what is going to happen next. So briefly, touched on a scenario yesterday. This ending diagonal pattern. Ultimately, you'd be looking for, from top to bottom, you're looking for a classic zigzag here, potentially taking out 98.5k even. You'd be looking for a big correction to come, as clearly this move started from the top is impulsive. Today I'm going to go over more why I'm not a fan of this count. And a lot of things have to happen until this count becomes more probable. Specifically, this 112k low here has to break, which I think it will actually, but more importantly, we need to break basically 104k level 2, which is, so that's a far ways to go before that we really start saying this count is probable or is becoming probable, because there's other scenarios in the way that have higher probability. Now if I jump back over to my main chart, I'll show you what that is, and it is actually another a multi 1-2 building here. So we have a nice big long wave 1, a very shallow 2, followed by another impulse, and what should be completing here shortly as another 1-2. So this is a really nice look overall. You'll have a nice big 1-2 structure followed by a smaller 1-2 structure. Ultimately, you'd be looking for a series of 3-4s to play out, which in theory would be, if not more or equal to, the aggressiveness of the series of first wave impulses we have already seen. So most likely taking us up towards 160k region next. So let's jump into the local price action here. I do want to touch on one thing that is the only slightly concerning part of this count for me, is this middle section here. This does look nice as a 3-wave move versus an impulse, but either one does work. Elliot waves is never 100% perfect. Even regarding this being a potential 3-wave move here, an ABC versus a 5-wave impulse, the probabilities are still higher for this to be a multi 1-2 developing, from which I'll try to go over here now. Mainly why this 1-2 excuse me, is not amazing here is because the size of this wave 2 versus the size of this wave 4. Now with alternation and stuff, you could say it's possible, but you don't really want to see such a small 4 versus your wave 2. Let's just check the time here. It doesn't even reach the 0.236. But technically, I mean, if you take your tool and you see how the wave actually looks, technically it still looks like an impulse. Elliot waves isn't perfect, it doesn't have to be, it's just a guideline. Now, probabilistically here, we were looking for this B wave here to be another 1-2. That has invalidated as we have moved down aggressively. I am now fully expecting this to be an expanded flat playing out as a 1-2. So a nice big 1. Expanded flat and the B wave impulse and the C wave to finish. Within that wave 2, you could also view this as just a really simple, range. You're in a big range here. If you notice what we did up at the top, swept the high, and what we may likely do down here, sweep the bottom before reverting aggressively. This is known as an expanded flat. We have a WXY here, a 3-wave pattern, another WXY here. In an expanded flat, you look for a 3-3-5, where the B wave takes out the origin of the A wave, and the C wave is an impulsive move taking out the origin of the A wave, which again I'm fully expecting here. We do have some very crucial support down here. Common targets for your C wave are actually going to be, your first target will be right below the A wave, so taking out 112K. Right below that, we have your next most common target box, which is quite a range, but we have a daily naked point of control here at 111,000, the 1.114 at 110,800, and we also have, if you pull a fib from high to low, or from low to high, we do have our wave 2 target box here, slap dab in the middle of everything. Now, depending if you use Fibonacci or log scale or not, it will change things a little bit. We'll use log scale for now, and we will toggle off the 618 just for sake here. If we're looking for this this sweep here, we're looking for this 3 to finish a 4 and one more low, kind of just like how we swept the high up here with the B wave at 124K. We'd be looking to sweep this A wave, preferably coming right into this critical zone of support here, which has our daily naked point of control, our 0.5 fib, our 1.114 Fibonacci extension, the technical sweep and liquidation of the A wave. This is called confluence when you start building up these zones. Also here, you can't see it because it's blended in. At 110,800, we also have a very large liquidation level sitting there, which is basically the max liquidation level of longs for this entire leg here. It's sitting at 110,800. So all those things considered, following our count as well to finish, we're looking for a 5-wave move. I am looking at this $110,800 level very closely. If we breach below that, our most common targets for C wave expanded flat is between the 1.236 and the 1.382, basically between 109 and 108K. I would fully expect the C wave to hold there on the daily time frame. Also, we have an old previous all-time high sitting exactly at 109,300-ish area. So this is my primary expectation. Now, for this to break down, we would that 103K $400 level I was talking about earlier. We'll just write invalid on this for now. I'll show you why in a second. Let's make that double red. Mostly we do not want to come below that level, because if we toggle on our 1.618, technical C wave expanded flats can come to the 1.618. You don't want to see them below that level on a daily close, though. You really do not. You want that to be a wick. If the C wave was to wick down that far, potentially sweep this last little tiny bit of potential liquidity right there at 105,500. So you could actually move this invalidation up a little bit. Technically, if the C wave starts coming down this low, I would call it off, and at 104,000 I would give full regards to the diagonal scenario actually taking play. But you see we have a lot of confluent levels, support, and just massive order blocks and demand here first that we have to get to. So I'm not even considering that until the 104,000 level breaks, at which point you can start considering it to happen, because the bullish scenarios have broken down. There's no reason to be bearish until you have confirmation. So at this point, I will remain bullish. Another bullish technical here, which one of my favorite indicators to use, is the OBV, which is on balance volume. You can really see the power of what's going on here. If you note, I have this red this red line up here at the top when we topped out, when we swept the high at 124K. If you really look at OBV, it was very clearly a corrective high, meaning real buying volume was not pushing it up. This was just a liquidation event. I mean, clearly that is very clear now. It was just a liquidation event, mostly to wipe out leverage. It wasn't. People that use leverage, traders, are trend traders. They jump on trends that are already existing and they add fuel to trends. The original people that fuel trends are spot buyers. People that buy and accumulate assets for the long term are the people that create the trends. Your leverage traders do not create trends. They don't control the market. Again, they are market participants and they help fuel trends. So this is very clearly, a corrective high we had here, correlating with the strong decrease on volume, which means this was a extended leveraged high to sweep liquidity, to stop people out of their positions, to give fuel to the downside move. But if you notice, OBV was already declining, volume was already declining, and we are actually now in a major zone of support. This actually volume gap here, as well as this volume you could call order block, and even more, a larger order block of this range between 93 and 100,000, we are actually already retesting. So even though price is up at 113,000 right now, we are retesting crucial levels below us. For all these reasons combined, this is my primary scenario, and I will adjust it if 104K breaks. Until then, this is my full expectation, I would actually be very happy to buy spot Bitcoin here, because I mean your invalidation is so close at 104k. I would be happy to accumulate here, and actually I will be looking for longs as soon as we get a reaction somewhere down here and we reclaim this level. I would happily start looking for longs at that point. Thank you for tuning in.